her family with a very important piece of business that they were needing to attend to punctually. And through my efforts, they were able to do that. I'm not exactly certain that I can wholeheartedly trust her, although I do not see that it would be in her best interest to betray us. And so I took a calculated risk. We needed a place to go. We needed a solid night's rest, and we have gear that we need to liquidate in order to fund our operation. Uh, she has proven to she has taken us in when she did not have to, and has given us comfort and the things in which we seek. Now, perhaps we should still set a watch.
I was thinking maybe the same thing. I, I agree. This is fantastic that you have a contact in Little Kalimshan that you can trust, but maybe we should have keep an eye out anyways, just in case.
Just so.
Business is business.
Well, I agree, which is also why I decided to go ahead and share further information, so that perhaps she would see us as a capable ally rather than a uh, juicy mark.
Oh, I'll be a juicy mark. We've got two juicy marks on our team
I
right
was gonna
now.
say, what do you gentlemen have to say about that?
What do the other juicy marks want to say?
What doth the juicy markets say?
So Mark, I will be retuning my lute to a Kalimshan style uh, music. I have the specific tuning. I'll be retuning it to that and playing that as we rest. I will be using my Song of Rest, which should help those creatures regain. That's during a short rest, so never mind. I'll
you
still be
you do it anyways because it's awesome.
I'll still be retuning it to while we're
Very
in Little
thematic.
Kalimshan to play that style of music. But forget Song of Rest because that's not going to help us anyway.
Well,
Never mind.
then I'll not be joining you with my giant bamboo flute.
We've already bartered for a little ass. We do not need any bamboo flutes.
Yeah, I'll be in my room tuning my lute.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in my room
Come
sleeping
on,
with
come
hey,
on.
I'm gonna be in my
Bastards.
room sleeping with.
The NPCs sing with me, we don't need the NPCs, okay?
Rule number one, do not eat NPCs. Rule number two, do not eat NPCs.
Gets there. Aha!
I am heard. Hello.
We are
We
a
are
herd.
seen. Haha.
We're a herd of lemmings. Quick to the nearest cliff so we can jump off.
I prefer the ocean.
All right, so apparently we are live. So thank you everybody for joining us. We are the Critical Fail. We are a group of role players. Tonight we are going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, Descent into Avernus. We have been playing this campaign for just a little bit over a year. I am your dungeon master, and right on cue, the gray cat wants to make her meowing very apparent. So there she is.
Hello,
This
Grey
is
Cat.
your this is your monster for the evening, and fight.
Free cat. Damn at you.
Fighter of
like
the
it.
White Cat.
Ha ha ha! I'm like, man, I worked out, and now I can lift massive weights, and then I try to pick up a 10-pound cat, and I like throw my shoulder out. But my name is Mark. I will be your dungeon master.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Hello. As you can see, I have this very neat shirt. It says "Run D&D." You can get your very own. All you got to go is to www.google.com and Google that shit, and somebody's probably selling it. So, all right, let's move
Is it
right
licensed?
What's the Google? What's the Google?
Let's
Fuck is
Google.
a Google. Yeah.
Going to the Google.
People are using the Google nowadays.
Now the Google. Had a girl one time, and she used to like it. No, sorry, that's a segue. Anyway, before we get into the little recap from last week's events and events leading up to where we are in the campaign thusly, let's do a little introduction, a roundtable of who is here at the moment. We do have a couple players who may or may not yet make an appearance tonight. If they do, we'll make sure to have them chime in and do a little impromptu introduction. But again, my name is Mark. I am your dungeon master, leading this merry band of hobo slayers as they travel through the realm, slaying hobos left and right, and grabbing up all the goody loot. So, to this way, on my screen anyway, we have the one and only Jaren the Hellhound, as he can do introductions like no other. So, Jaren, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what's your motivation?
Absolutely. My name is Jay, and I do play Jaren, Jaren Kincaid, also known as the Hellhound. And my motivation is to roll dice. Handfuls of them. And I will
Punchy,
pass this
punchy,
off
stabby,
to.
stabby.
That's right. How it works. I am absolutely very hungry to have a phenomenal gaming night tonight, since we've had like 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks without actually like killing anything. Maybe lose track.
On this week's episode of Shopping in Dungeons and Dragons.
Back to the sewers.
Mark's over there like writing the name through, like, who will get the meteor swarm tonight?
Right, for your
Yeah.
5th night in the library.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
So I'll pass this off to probably the most stoic member of the group. That's truly, as they say, our big toe, Uncle Hulka, Joey Joe.
Wait, that's the wrong character. Sorry. Ooh, I mean,
Gut punch.
Hey everybody, I'm Joey Joe. And I play Mordecai the Magnificent. Yes, and my motivation is to convince, well, not convince. I would say, trick Grin to sleep with me a 3rd time. Ooh. When was the 2nd time? Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. I was a poor boy from a poor family. And then also spared me a life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go. I'm back down in the sewers now. But yeah, it's fun. And speaking of Grin, I'll pass it on over to my hetero sex partner, Peregrine Grin Ghostwin.
I thought you were gonna say penguin. I was like, what?
Willing, unwilling, knowing, unknowing.
Peregrine. I'm Greg, and I play Peregrine Ghostwind, also known as Grin, the human fighter. And my motivation is to make that green. Show me the money. Show me the gold, the green or the gold. I guess just the gold. There is no green. And to adventure and to sail the 7 seas, but mostly to make gold. I will pass it on to the man from New Orleans, Lucius Darvalin.
Yeah.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Grin. I am neither from Louisiana, nor am I kind. I am Lucius Darvalin, I am from Calimsham. I am a half drow, half elven character who grew up an orphan and was rescued from as Joey Joe says, a monstrosity. Now, I have sworn my life service work to the House of Elrond, and you want my motivation, sir? There you have it. I simply to exist. If I am to exist, this house also must exist. And who has not gone yet? Thundercats.
And the Muse.
My name is Thunder in the morning. I am a Bhakti paladin that is slowly going insane in the membrane.
Kitty
Tabaxi.
insane, got no brain.
Very apropos. Very apropos. Apropos.
That's my middle name.
Very insane in the membrane.
Apple polls to you too.
I slowly go down. I slowly have the problem with the mental because the shield talk to me and you don't let have me have my shield back. You give to the other demon lady with the horn. No good. No good. That's all.
The cat may not have a hat, but he might have a point.
Thank you. That was short but pointless.
Oh, I also have a T-shirt. You can acquire this T-shirt by asking the guy who gave shit about the other T-shirt. There you have it.
That's right. All you got to do, travel on down to Austin, Texas. Pick up your very own. Hell, if you make the trip to Austin, Texas to pick up a T-shirt, I will fucking give you one for free. So
there you have it, folks.
For a small nominal fee.
If
Buy
you
that too, get a shirt.
if you need a T-shirt, if you have
all
no
you got to do.
if you have no shirts left, of course, you can go acquire a T-shirt from Studio Inc. in Austin, Texas. You want to give them that
Easy peasy.
address or no?
2501 East 7th Street, Suite 500.
That's a yes.
I know, because I have to write the check every month. Fuck it. Goddamn rent. Fuck it. Sorry.
What
No,
the zip-
here we...
Zip code.
Zip code 78702. There we go.
Awesome.
You hear all that, you crazy internet people? Now you know where to find them.
Right. East Side. Yes, that's where we are. So that is our band of merry adventurers, which you would think this would be a full complement of adventuring party. However, we do have 3 members who have yet to make an appearance tonight. So to complement our full on Hollywood Squares / you name it. We are missing a few people. Like I said, they may make an appearance later on tonight. But the gist of it is our characters have been battling their way through Baldur's Gate, going from sort of one catastrophe to the next as the entire adventure for them began with a coup. They are all tied into House Elton. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the city of Baldur's Gate and its politics, House Elton is one of the founding houses, the aristocratic nobility of Baldur's Gate. They are the founders and leaders of the Flaming Fist, which is a mercenary company that also happens to act as the police force and local military. They are a very tight-knit group. And one of the other characters who was not here, the lovely Courtney, who plays Elsa Elton, the sole surviving heir of the Elton family line, was on the precipice of her name day, the 20th name day, when she would take over rulership from the steward who had been placed in charge of the family in the absence of her parents, who disappeared at sea. And on the eve of that name day, there was a massive coup and an attempted assassination. She barely escaped with her lives, with these few surviving loyal followers. Some of them have been with her for many years, acting as not only counselors to the family and to her parents, but as mentors, guides, courtesans, etc. Some of them joined much more recently, including one of the characters who we have yet to see, who was a bard from Waterdeep, hired only to play and sing "Happy Birthday" at the birthday party. So he had literally just met the entire family when calamity befell and murder abounded, and everyone had to make haste or else fall prey to the rest of House Elton. So we have this group, and they are trying to figure out exactly what happened to the house, who usurped the power, and who was behind everything. Now they've done a really excellent job. They managed to basically follow the trail of breadcrumbs back to another of the noble houses, a house that goes by the name of Van Thamper. Now, Duke Thalmara Van Thamper, the matron of the family, she was one of the 4 dukes of Baldur's Gate, and in a attempt to usurp authority from the Flaming Fist and try to gain more centralized power for herself, she was the one behind the, as we're calling it, the Red Birthday Party. And
What did she do to the power?
she usurped it.
Okay, I just wanted to hear you say that word again. Thanks.
How many Z's are in usurped? All of them. The answer is all of them. And our characters then managed to find out that there was even more nefarious undertones going on, as she had allied herself with devils from the 9 hells, and in order to try to make a grab at this power, as well as entreating the favor of High Overseer Thavius Krieg from Elturel, who in a previous episode we discovered was the basically had signed a contract with one of the archfiends from the 9 hells, and now the holy city of Elturel has been basically it's disappeared.
That's
there's
the
been all-
adjective. Disappeared.
Yes,
It's been disappeared.
It's been disappeared. Our characters
That's a verb, isn't
are at Candlekeep. They have conferred with a number of the sort of preeminent sages and researchers dealing with topics of the 9 hells, devils, infernal contracts, things of that nature. And actually, one of them, Silvira Savakis, she was able to crack open the infernal puzzle box that our characters had retrieved from the manor of Duke Thalmara Van Thamper. And inside, they found there was a contract stating stating that basically all citizens of Elturel would be bound by blood and oath to the fate of Elturel and the archfiend Zeriel, who signed the Infernal Compact with High Overseer Thavius Krieg.
So this was the puzzle box, not just a puzzle box. Holy shit. I guess I was out before that part got
Yes.
So we
Yes.
went back to her and she was able to open it. And
Yep.
that turned out to be that one.
That's what we found.
So what
Yeah.
happened once the box was open?
Oh, we were just able to retrieve the contract from within it. Right?
Yes.
But like, what does the contract do? Can we do anything with the contract?
Well,
or is it just...
So, yes and no. Having so each contract, as an infernal contract, the rules stipulate that for any infernal contract, there are 2 copies: one belonging to the mortal signer of the contract, and the other
Okay.
belonging to the fiendish.
I think I remember that.
And destroying one portion of the
Doesn't
contract does
do any
nothing.
good.
You have to bring the 2 pieces of the contract together, and only then can they be destroyed, or destroyed, or nullified. If you could
So
get
potentially reversed.
potentially reversed.
Okay.
Yes, it is something that I know Traxigor said that he thinks that in his studies it would take something perhaps like the breath of a red dragon to destroy an infernal contract. And Silveris had said, or perhaps if you doused it in the river Styx, that might be enough to destroy it. But it's the sort of fortitude and imperviousness of one of these contracts is directly related to the level of fiend that is in control of it. And in this case, it is one of the ruling fiends of the Nine Hells, which means it's going to be quite stout.
Let's send the Eagles to get it.
Right. Totally send the Eagles. And let's see. We did end up meeting here. I'm going to start bringing up some of these different characters that we have met throughout the throughout our adventures. So I did mention we had Traxigor. Looks like an otter, dressed in a little red cassock. Interesting guy.
Nothing.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, here, let's where do I hit that button? Where there we go. Bing. There's little Traxigor. Is one of the preeminent scholars and researchers dealing with extra-dimensional travel. And he was able to supply the characters with a totally stable portable hole. He did warn them that perhaps don't put anything in there that is living or that you are overly fond of, because he's like, there are still some kinks that need to be worked out. But there is Traxigor and his research partner, the lovely and eminent scholar Severa Savakis. And during the discussion with Traxigor, this character showed up as well, identifying themselves as Lulu. Lulu said that they were with Zariel when they charged into the Nine Hells and the Hell Riders leading the charge, and it was a glorious thing. But something has happened to Lulu, and most of their memories are now gone. Lulu seems very very distressed, as far as very, very angry that cannot remember exactly what has happened. Just knows that there was a great battle. Literally, let's see.
Didn't somebody Thunder offer to hold the sword or something to see if it jarred a memory? Did anything ever come of that?
Yeah. Oh, as far what it
And
wasn't Zariel's sword.
Yeah, he said that was not Zariel's sword.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he was
okay,
like,
okay.
no. He said
it was a badass sword, but it's not the sword. Okay.
He's like, that's a very fine sword indeed, but that is not Zariel's sword.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
It's not, but we can lay the pit down and make a pit of death.
Possibly, or it could just be a portable hole.
Or they just drop and then we have them captured in a hole.
But if we put them in the portable hole, we could call it the pit of death.
Yes, and it very well could be.
And they could die.
There's a non-zero probability of it killing somebody.
So what are we going to do now?
I think Thunder should just carry on a bowl of oatmeal and call it the pit of death. And when people ask why, he's just slammed their face in there and drowned them in it.
It's the grits of death.
It's technique.
Right. It's all just technique.
So we left Otter's house and we went back to Silvira's house, right? Silvira? What is her name?
Silvira.
Yeah. So we're back up at her office, right?
I thought we had got. I know, like me and Riss were doing research on the planes in the library. We were all going to go back to the inn/tavern area. I thought we were in the process of getting back to that. I could be wrong.
Yes, the puzzle box has been opened.
I wasn't tracking that.
Well, yes, yeah, because she
We would have had
opened
to
it.
have gone back there to find that out.
Yes.
We were still waiting to hear the conclusion. So if we found that out, we must have been there.
Yeah. I'm almost positive that I think that was one of the very final revelations was,
Okay.
and I think I was probably doing it in the voice of Traxigor, which is
I think we were in the libraries. Like I think we had like 3 days while they did the research, and we were all just telling them like,
Yes.
what we were doing during those 3
Yes.
days or something.
Yeah, I know the bards were barding it up and throwing on the fucking concert of the
Partying
century.
bardcore.
Right. doing the bard things.
All of the bard things were the best at all of the bard things.
Nobody can do
bards
bard
better than
things.
us.
Yes. That's-
I play a wicked lute.
Wicked loot.
And that's not just evil treasure.
That's right. LOOT versus LUTE. Bards are down with the loot.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Let's see. There's just so much info dump going on at this point. I'm just trying to get to where we are and what y'all know. Yeah, so let's see. Where
I gotta
was
go take an info dump too.
Right. Yeah, Lulu had said,
I don't remember the actual battle, but we must have lost. I guess that's how I lost my memories.
And with the, where is it? Let's see. Too many things to look at.
Yeah, and we haven't even been playing for even 5 years yet.
I know.
Just imagine how silly it's going to be when a decade's gone by.
Yes. All right. So there was one minor change from what I read last time, but if nobody had written it down, then they won't notice that there was a change.
Oh, I'm sure your brother's got it written down.
Right. It is.
Just say yes,
Greg.
I have a bunch of stuff written down.
There you go. Good enough. Keep going, DM.
Okay, so inside inside the box is a stack of 9 chain-linked plates. Each of them are 3 inches on a side, cast of dark iron and stamped with infernal runes. Silvira reads aloud the inscription on the runes. Be it known to all that I, High Rider Clav Ikea, High Overseer of Elturel, have sworn to my master Zariel, Lord of Avernus, to keep the agreements contained in this oath. I hereby submit to Zariel in all matters and for all time. I will place her above all creatures, living and dead. I will obey her all my days and beyond with fear and servility. I recognize the dispensation of the device called the Solar Insidiator, hereafter called the Companion, and that is the glowing sort of second sun that was hovering over Elturel. In my capacity as High Rider of Elturel and its vassal territories, I acknowledge that all lands falling under the light of the Companion are forfeit to Zariel. All persons bound by oath to defend Elturel are also considered forfeit. I further recognize
That's
that this
fucked up, by the way.
Right. I further recognize that this dispensation will last 50 years, after which the Companion will return whence it came, taking Elturel and its oath-bound defenders with it, if that is Zariel's wish. All this is my everlasting pledge.
And it appears that Zerial
Mhm.
did indeed wish it.
Mm-hmm. It has been nearly 50 years. So, or it has been 50 years almost to the day.
We'll call it 51 and some change.
Yeah. Now, if Riz were here, being the master of lore and history that he is,
History.
and I would guess that our good fellow Lucius would probably know this as well, being that El Terrell is a neighboring city and not some far off, land that is only known and hearsay
Why,
and
there
whatnot.
are people coming and going from Elturel daily.
That's right. So the name on that is High Rider Clav Ikea. So this would have been the High Rider used to be before there was the High Overseer. There was the High Rider, and the High Rider was basically the leader of the whatchamacallit, the Hell Riders, and the back in 1439. Or let's see, there was High Rider Clav Ikea, and in 1444, Dale Reckoning, it was discovered that well, the ruling council and let's see. No, it wasn't High Rider Clavicalia. Sorry, it was High Rider Naja Balandi. My bad. Because Clav Ikea was the vampire lord who was basically that's the reason why Naja Balandi invoked the pact with Zerial to get rid of all of the undead. So it was in 1439, Dale Reckoning, High Rider Clav Ikea led an expedition of Hell Riders into the High Moor. A feral vampire had begun turning large numbers of orcs, trolls, and ogres into vampire spawn, which were threatening the peace of the border communities that had been placed under the protection of El Terrell's guard. The expedition was a success, and the feral vampire, along with most of its spawn, was destroyed. Unbeknownst to the rest of the expedition, however, High Rider Ikea had been infected. Now, this is something that is not common knowledge, but during the investigation of the libraries of Candlekeep, which has many, many, many tomes which are available no place else on Faerun, you were able to find some of this very, very well hidden and controlled information. You can imagine they didn't want this to get out, as the rulership of this entire city had basically fallen into, control of vampires. Now, the new vampire lord of El Terrell, which was High Rider Ikea, kept his true nature hidden, but the darkness of his curse ate at the city like a cancer, and in 1444, the secret was discovered by Naja Balandi, the High Watcher of Helm. Naja managed to escape from the High Hall before she was turned into a vampire herself. She fled through the moonlit shadows of the garden and ultimately eluded the vampires hunting her by diving from the Maiden's Leap into the canal below. Naja's discovery and subsequent escape triggered the Night of the Red Coup. High Rider Ikea and his vampires had already infiltrated the highest ranks of the government. Now they swept through what remained, killing or converting dozens. The Hell Riders themselves were betrayed, caught off guard, and slaughtered in a vampiric frenzy. Naja Balandi, having dragged herself from the canal, returned to Helm's Shield Hall, only to find it an abattoir. She gathered the few survivors she could, and sent word to the patrols still operating outside the city. A siege was raised, but the Hell Riders were ill-equipped for such an action, and their one-time allies had been alienated by High Rider Ikea's imperial actions, even before he became a vampire. Inside the city's walls, Balandi ran one of several guerrilla resistance groups, but for 14 days, a reign of vampiric terror gripped the city. At some point, Balandi ended up forming a pact with Zerial, accepting the Archduchess's help in overthrowing High Rider Ikea. In return, the entire city would be forfeit to Zariel in 50 years. Now, once the companion arrived in the sky above Elturel, the vampires were taken by surprise, and most were destroyed by its quote-unquote holy light, although High Rider Ikeia himself escaped into the catacombs beneath the city. Now, after the coming of the companion, now it becomes High Watcher Belandi, or yes, it was High Watcher Belandi. She becomes the High Observer Belandi, and began the painful process of reconstruction. She apparently was trying to find a way to break the pact, and on a routine patrol, her and her entire contingent of guards, while they were outside the city gates, were ambushed and killed to a man. Now, at that point, Belandi was replaced by High Observer Kathasach Rastat, one of the founding members of a group called the Order of the Companion. Now, Rastat, he converted to the religion of Torm, who is a god of order and righteousness, and it was growing in popularity in the city because the city had just gone through such a calamity. It was sort of craving some order and justice and righteousness. It was under Rastat that Elturel became increasingly theocratic, with the Order of the Companion becoming ascendant over the Hell Riders. The High Hall, which used to be the sort of governing seat of power in Elturel, was reconsecrated as a temple to Torm, and Rastat himself becoming not merely the High Observer, but he was the High Observer of Torm, thereby sort of cementing the religion of Torm into the city. Now, High Observer Rastat's heir apparent was a popular paladin named Tamal Thent, and much like her predecessor, in 1479, she and her entire retinue mysteriously disappeared near the Borokskyer Bridge. When Rastat died in 1481, Fabius Krieg, a member of the local aristocracy, became the new High Observer instead, and he has been ruling the city for the past 13 years. So he has basically, although not the direct architect of the fall of Elturel, it seems like he knew exactly what was going on and was working to further its corruption. Now, one of the things that are more learned people would know is that the members of the Hell Riders, all of the knights of the Hell Riders, they signed something called the Creed Resolute in Elturel. It's a founding document of the Order of the Companions, and it was also adopted by all of the Hell Riders. And records show that the Hell Riders were a little bit hesitant to sign something that bound themselves to a religious order, as they had always been sort of an agnostic, put the city first, above and before any and all sort of religious leanings. But seeing that this was the order of the new High Observer of Torm, they placated reluctantly. And the full creed is a lengthy document prescribing various courses of action that are considered right and proper for a knight. This includes some guidance that's ethical and moral, mostly the chivalric code, and other guides that's more practical, like the code of dress, the list of arms and armor, which any of the follower must maintain. And it's a very common saying among Elturians to say, like, if somebody is getting out of line, if somebody seems like they're being disrespectful, a very common saying would be like, hey, recall the creed. Now, the crucial bits in the Creed Resolute that all of the knights and all of the warriors of Elturel swore is written thusly: I solemnly pledge my soul and blood and blade to serve as a knight of Elturel and share the oath of the High Observer in honoring the gift of the companion. I shall guard the realm of Elturgard and all those lands which lie under Elturel's shield, upholding the laws of Elturgard and the commands of the High Observer. I shall live my life in strict accord to the Creed Resolute, placing it and this oath above all other doctrines. I shall be bound to all others who swear this oath, declaring them now and forevermore, whether in life or beyond the veil of death, to be my brothers in arms. To ensure the perfect harmony of our brotherhood, I shall permit no difference in faith to come between us, but rather hold the companion, which I shall never attribute to one God or another, as our common star. Now, anyone who is let's get a couple. Anyone who has any history, and this is where I'm like, where, or I can just say this, at this point Riz steps in, and he can say,
I have a 15.
oh, a 15 is not bad.
I have a 17 if somebody wants to give me some inspiration.
Yes, we can definitely do that. Now, let's see, where was that?
Or just advantage on the roll.
So,
Excellent.
so metaphysically, there are two very important things to note in the Creed Resolute. So they say that they pledge their soul to, quote unquote, share the oath of the High Observer. Now, the implication is that this is the oath to uphold the Creed Resolute, but of course that's not the case. It's actually the oath that the High Observer Belandi made to Zariel in the Pact. Everyone swearing this oath sells their soul to Zariel, just like Belandi did. It also, the other point number 2, they also pledge their blood. This is the clause that damns all of their offspring and leads directly to the case where we have the entire city now being sucked into the 9 hells. Pro tip, kids, don't swear oaths you've never seen.
Don't.
Is that what's happening right now? Is that what's going on?
Is it?
This makes so much more sense now. That also tells me that Zariel that was one of the reasons that she wanted to commit to the crusade or the attack into the 9 hells. It entirely depends on when she was corrupted or when she sold out, but that would be the odds are right now that she was doing that purely to compromise all of those people.
Right.
That had.
Yeah. That's
we might be wrong, but that's surely what it's looking.
Yeah, it just shouldn't look good. That's pretty knocking futz.
Right. So right now, we have one half of the infernal contract signed between High Rider Naja Belandi and Archduchess Zariel, and in order to try to break or undo this fiendish contract, you need to get the other half.
Anybody have any idea where the other half is?
Silvira would say, I can only assume that the other half is most likely residing with Zariel or one of her guardians. Perhaps she does not carry this around her person at all time, but has it secreted away. But
I'm sure.
My instinct tells me that if you would want to find this, the information is going to be found in Elturel itself. I would go to the High Hall.
Gentlemen. To hell with it.
That's right.
Well, now that we have this information, who should we pass it along to so that they may follow up on this?
She says, I think that this is a very good idea. I honestly, you seem very forthright. You seem very accomplished in your deeds. But however, something of this magnitude is, quite frankly, I think beyond your current capabilities. What we can do is we can find those who would be best equipped to battle this sort of evil, those that can find this other half of this fiendish contract of the Archduchess Zariel. But I believe that those who would be willing to and who also would have the power and the magnitude to do such a thing are going to be found in El Torel, if it exists still. This is also a very big question of mine, as now it has been past 10 days since, by your reckoning, the city was either destroyed or taken away, teleported through some of the means. And in my own mind, I'm thinking that this it very well may not still be a city. It may have fallen completely into the hands of the fiends. But I think that it would do the most good to at least see if there is a city left worth saving.
I do not understand. Is this city now not in one of the hells?
I believe that according to the contract, the city was forfeit to the Archduchess, but this would have happened 11 to almost 12 days ago. And as far as what the Archduchess's plans are for the city might be completely destroyed. It might no longer exist at all. I honestly, I am uncertain of what the overall the intents for Zariel, if she wants just to destruction, if she's looking for something else. But I think that the most important thing is to at least investigate to see if there is a city. And if there is a city, I think the people that you need to find to help battle and that will have the most to gain and the most power against this sort of thing are going to be found in El Terrell. It is, after all, it was a very devout and holy city. I think many of the people had no idea the extent to which the corruption spread throughout. And perhaps there are, if the city still exists, there might be a hero or heroes with the power to undo all of this evil that has been done.
But that's the problem. We don't we don't know if the city exists. I thought it was completely destroyed by all accounts, and even if it does exist, how would we even get there?
At that point, little tracks were,
Well, actually, sir, as a very renowned researcher and mage of uh, quite renowned with extra dimensions and teleportation, I have the ability that I can teleport all of us to the precise location where El Terrell should be found, if it does exist, in the Nine Hells.
I think we should go.
Now,
You want to transport us either to the Nine Hells, where we will be completely annihilated, or you want to transport us to wherever El Terrell went, which could have been destroyed. Are you insane?
Under's starting to get excited, just so you know.
There are certain dangers, to be sure. However, this would not be a trip to instant annihilation. Has El Terrell been destroyed, the portal will fail. and as there is no ending point for the portal, and it will be a moot point. However, if L2L still exists, we can safely teleport to where it is. Now, if it does exist in a place of danger, the uh, uh, the
Out with it,
or,
man.
or the aura of the prime material plane in which we reside, we should make it at least a habitable area for us to do an investigation. I would not suggest spending a lot of time there. No, certainly not. But with my skill, with my magic, I believe that I can take us there to at least see. I could run the ritual, and if it does open a portal to a place that we can actually travel, we can see if there is a city left worth saving and the people.
And we can come back through this portal.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, what about if you open a portal to the Nine Hells that we can go to and from? Then couldn't the denizens of the Nine Hells use it to come here?
It's not that simple, actually. No, I'm sorry. Carry on. Correct me, Warren.
No. I believe our friend here, his family has some knowledge of extraplanar travel, and it is a knot tied in a series of knots that is an interesting sort of riddle that you need to unwind.
I like this plan. I'm on board. When do we start?
Thunder feel like we finally have a puppet. We need to go do that puppet thing.
For
and we
once,
go to
I
that
agree with the Thundercat.
Well, I can simply wait back at the tavern for everyone, and once you know what's going on, figured out where this town is, you guys can just come back and let me know, and I'll be happy to
need to come with that.
Do I really, though?
Mm-hmm.
Not to be the materialistic one of the group, but how much does this pay?
Nothing in dollars.
Well, I have obviously no desire for any sort of payment beyond the chance and adventure to discover a new portal into another dimension. However,
I'll take your share then.
I am sure that the city of Alterel still exists in any shape or form. The people there, if they exist, would pay any sort of reward or ransom in order to have some sort of savior. Now, if you can deliver that savior,
You had me at ransom. What were we talking about?
Any sort of reward?
Make them pay to bring them back. We
the
make them
choice
pay to bring them back.
is oblivion or salvation.
Again, I'm on board. When do we begin?
I can begin the incantations to start the ritual and have it ready by midday tomorrow.
Sounds good.
wonderful.
Now, where do we eat and drink?
Well,
I know
The
a
place we've been staying for the last 3 days.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I forgot
The hearth.
where we were.
The hearth. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, he's like,
I would like to make one thing.
Dear Kitchens, you know.
Are we taking the shield with us on
That's
this
what I
journey,
want.
or
I
is it
want
going
the
to
shield
be
to come with
staying
me.
here for
I
safety?
thought we were not doing that. I thought we
Yeah.
were.
I couldn't.
I think we
honestly don't remember where we left off.
We had
on the shield.
discussed giving that shield to somebody, I think, to hold for us, right?
Oh, wait a minute.
Eh, yeah, the
you
option
rat
was,
fucker.
yeah.
You rat fucker gave the shield to the lady. Now I want my
Yes.
shield when we go to
I remember
the town.
we gave it to her. I remember we had the back and forth about if it was safe to keep with us or not, but I don't remember.
well, I think that's where we got into
Like the
bag. The
boxes-
bag of holding was an option to carry the shield.
Like once the box is open, the box is useless now, right? Like the puzzle box.
well,
that's
I
gone.
think so.
It's
Well, the
Here's the
contents
thing.
of the box are.
Here's the bottom
Like
line.
it was just the paper. That
well, now
forms
it's
what
now we
need.
can use it to lock things in, right? Like if we
But
want to.
we cannot put the shield in the hole because the shield will.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's
on the other
it's
hand,
the law of
You could try.
extra
Who
dimensional
wants to throw the
spaces.
shield in the hole?
It's a
But what
grenade
we
we can
can't-
detonate.
what we can do is we could give the shield back to Thunder, and then we can go into hell with Thunder carrying his shield. That is a great idea.
I think the clearest
or
flaw
on
in your
or on
logic
that shield.
is that the
Idea.
shield was ever yours. that's
Thunder
that's
doesn't
the
care.
most that's the
Thunder
most
thinks
clear
that
clear
shield-
flaw that you have is that you believe the shield was yours at some point.
Thunder absolutely believes the shield is his.
I
He's
just
like,
Correct.
I feel like it's easier to convince him that he doesn't have it any longer than it is to convince him that he never had a right to it. It's just me.
I would totally agree with this.
Well, then
He is a cat.
if we could, like, if the puzzle box still has some use, then and it's not any damage to have it, then I would ask if we could still, if I may keep the puzzle box for myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
think-
that the contract has been removed and we have it safely, is there any reason to keep it? And if
I would
so,
say we should put that contract back into it.
well, it was quite difficult to open, so
But we know how now, correct? Is that not
Is
the
it the-
thing? I don't know how these work.
yes.
uh,
So
I think we should.
I was able
Listen.
to unlock the puzzle box using this Mechanicum, basically a deconstructor that I have been working on, but it is a very large device. You would need to have it on hand with you, and it does take a number of days. Even though once the initial puzzle is solved, each time that the puzzle box becomes locked again, it is like a combination that changes every time with each
Ah.
new one, and
It's
it must be
encrypted.
cracked again and again, and it takes time and it takes resources.
So then,
Two-factor authentication. Yes.
well, then I say that we should not. Let's certainly keep the puzzle box, but we do not need to. You're right. Put the contract back would be a bad idea.
I would suspect it to be most safely kept here.
What I think we ought to do, I'm just throwing this out there. Thunder, think we should take the party, all party concerned, everybody that not here to the nine hell with us. So when they come back with us, they come back and they in the hell with us. At the same time, I think that we should take the shield back, give it back to Thunder, Thunder hold the shield, and we go forward from there.
I agree. For once, I agree with them.
And Silvira will say, she will say, I believe that the reason that you have now in your possession this contract is to deliver it into the Nine Hells so that you can find either you can find the other half, or possibly, and more importantly, find someone from El Terrell with the power to find the other half and join the two together, destroying them. But
We
to
shall
leave it
carry
here-
them to the very heart of Mount Mordor.
Yes, I think to leave the map here or the contract here would be a mistake, as you again would need to find the other half. If you find the other half and you are in the Nine Hells, or someone that you have with you finds the other half, it's going to be useless without the half that you have with you.
Well, very well. I'll carry the box, but I don't want the responsibility of carrying the contract.
That
Yes.
should tell everybody in the party that that shit is dangerous as fuck.
I will
Sorry.
still carry the shield and the contract. I don't care. Give me my shield back.
And Traxigor looks at the shield and he's like,
I think that this is very dangerous. This particular item. It's again, it is a very
That is two
dangerous.
very dangerous items. I am
I'll-
very dangerous. Shield very dangerous. We go
Mm.
together.
Yes,
We come together.
you are
Ooh,
dangerous.
we come
But
together.
dynamite, dangerous. Match, dangerous. Put two together, even more dangerous.
Perfect.
Destroy,
That's why
kill
we go to
everyone.
hell.
Mr. Civic, it's just a quick question. If
Oui?
we were under, if at some point we have to destroy the shield, what would be the appropriate way to do that?
she kind of looks at you, and then she looks over at Traxagor, and she says, Monsieur Traxagor, were you not saying before that the contract is a very difficult thing to destroy? Oui? He's like,
Yes, 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 I don't know. It's going to be red dragon breath or something.
and did you not say that perhaps you could, by destroy contract by submerging it, tossing it into the river
The
Styx?
river Styx, that's right.
Yes, that is mere purely conjecture, although the properties of that river are legendary and very, very potent.
She's like, would it not then be a reasonable conclusion that to destroy the shield, you could also throw the shield into the river Styx, no? At this point, Traxagor is like,
It's almost like we need to take it with us now, isn't it?
This is interesting. I would
Where
normally not
where is
suggest
the river Styx?
river
In
Styx.
hell.
Yes.
What is the river Styx?
River Styx is the river that
wait.
the death brings you across the river to get into hell.
That
Well,
the river runs
I know what it is.
through
but
all
Bryn,
9 layers.
Bryn doesn't know what the hell the river
Yeah.
Styx is.
Ah,
yeah.
down, down, down
Jaren
by
does.
the river.
Shocker, Jaren.
Uh,
The
Jaren's
river
like-
Styx
Jaren's
does.
like, that ain't how it works. Never mind. But the river Styx,
like-
on the other hand, let me tell you about
Are we
it.
going to come
Yeah.
sail away on the river Styx?
Not yet, but we will go into the Mystic. So
I tell you what, Thunder, I will
Nobody?
change my vote to saying you should carry the shield, provided that you agree here and now, before you have it, that when we get to the river Styx, you will throw that shield into the river.
Question around that. Thunder said, I can do that, but the question I have, we throw the shield into the river, then the demon come out the shield.
I think there's a couple of ways we're approaching this. Maybe
the
maybe
shield-
something we should consider.
The shield goes, if the cage for the demon get destroyed, then the demon free.
Sometimes we don't know if the shield is the demon now.
Well,
So
then I should carry shield.
Thunder, I
And-
think you are a phenomenal warrior, but this might be beyond all of us.
Swear.
There
swear
are
an
some
oath-
ways that we can deal with
Swear
this.
an oath to Lady Elsa that when the time comes to destroy the shield, you promise you will do so.
Oh, I swear to oath. I
To the-
swear to oath.
To the Lady Elsa.
To on the Lady Elsa. I throw the shield and the Lady Elsa in the river.
And
Styx.
the Lady Elsa in the river.
You might if the shield is talking to you.
And Elsa will
I'm
approach.
just saying.
Will approach you, Thunder, and she looks up into your big kitty eyes with her big blue eyes, and she says, "Thunder, you are the captain of my guard, and you have been a faithful and loyal guardian for as long as I can remember. So I trust that you will continue and always be faithful and loyal and seek to protect me against all sorts of evil and
Always.
harm, including this shield. Although, from what these here book readers and historians have said, has great power and is very tempting. So, if you swear to me that you will destroy the shield in the river Styx when the time comes, I will trust you, and I will make it known to everyone else that you have my trust.
I carry the shield through hell, and I do not die from the demons in hell. I throw the shield in the river. In the river.
Or
the
when the
river.
time is right, if we determine that that is not the correct course of action. You may
I
carry
don't
it
know.
longer than the river Styx.
Then I don't throw it in the river.
Right.
I'm very confused now.
But
we will
if
see.
not then, whenever it is the appropriate time,
Ooh,
you will
then
then
we throw in the hole and we make big boom.
perhaps, as long as you agree
Let's
to
go.
do so when it is time, or that you agree that it shall be removed from you once again. With Well, that sounded like agreement. Give him the shield.
He's
I
punking
had his
everybody.
shield. Jaren is not
Jaren-
having a good day with this.
Jaren will hold the contract.
Oh, Jaren can hold the con.
Thank goodness somebody with some responsibility.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea either.
All right. So who
Aaron's
gets
got
to
his
hold
own
the contract?
contract.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Yeah.
I did.
I was gonna propose that Lady Elsa carry the contract. It seems only befitting her station to
Put it
carry
in
such
the
an
portable
important document. I do not think that that is a good idea.
Silvira is going to answer Grin's question about you mentioned you had the question about the River Styx. It is also known, perhaps you've heard of it, is called the River of Blood. It is a cross-planar river that links the uppermost layers of the Nine Hells and all of the lower Fiendish planes. So it is the
More of a waterfall then.
oui, it is not in a literal sense, but metaphorically, yes, it cascades from one to the next. Although it
My
is,
levels of Sea Ranger will come in quite handy.
it is a very linear sort of travel.
Oh, so I've heard as a child growing up, I heard fairy tales of a hellish nightmare land where a river of blood connected other nightmare lands together. And this is where we're traveling to. This is where we're going.
Yes, this is correct. This is the River Styx.
Come
and
on
it
now,
connects all
Grin,
of the
keep
lower
up.
planes.
I mean, it pretty much sounds like Baldur's Gate to me.
Why don't we open a portal to the Nine Hells and send the entire Flaming Fist mercenary unit there?
She looks at you and
Won't
she's
be
like,
there long.
"Yeah, do you
Do you possess such power?
Yes, if you can do this, yes, I would highly recommend something like this. Yes, if you have an army to send, this would very well be the way to do this.
Wouldn't we want to tell? So we're going to go there alone. This is our grand plan.
Well,
Traxigor waddles up to you and he goes,
well, not
Oh,
exactly.
You will not be alone. I will be with you.
Yeah, we are not going
Great.
to listen. We can return at any time. I believe the
We're just
rodent's
taking a
here. He
peek.
knows what he's doing.
Hmm.
And there's help on the other side, or we return. We're not going, in too deep here. More of a fishing expedition, if you will.
Don't worry, Grin. We'll drink enough at the bar tonight to make it all make sense.
I don't think anything here. This will never make sense to me.
Well, here, this is something that may make a lot of sense to you. There will be untold wealth, just ready, aching even, to be grabbed. Laying around. People will not care about the worldly or wealth possessions. They are going to be concerned with merely one thing alone, and that is getting out of hell.
I think I'm going to be concerned with that very thing myself.
Well, you see, we have got that spike up our sleeves, so to speak. We can return fairly at any time. Is that not correct, Traxicor?
Yes, this is very true. And please, do not let my current form betray the immense amounts of cosmic power that I wield. For many years ago, I was a human, much like, the pilot here. I was a handsome man, young and virile, and I took a lover, and then I took a few more, and one of my lovers, well, she did not like the fact that I was a little too fluid with my advances. So she cast a spell, turning me into my present form. I, however, prefer this form. This is, if you've never been a sea otter, this is really the way to live. So I have been lounging right here.
floating on your back, eating on your belly.
Going on 2 decades now. It is really the best of all the worlds. So I much prefer this way, although I still do have my immense cosmic power.
Oh,
Wow.
well,
I can't argue with that.
yeah, I won't argue with that. But you say we can return at any time. This will be a ritual spell. How long will this I happen to be a bit knowledgeable in the subtle art of ritual casting myself, and I'm wondering if you could give me some of the details.
Oh, yes. Well, this is a extraplanar travel. So I do require a number of different items that will be used to create attunement between the 2 planes. I do have my tuning fork, which is it's
Hmm.
shit. It was here, I swear. I had it here just well, once I find my tuning fork, I shall be able to begin this ritual. It's a small fork. Check your pockets. Did you maybe have this? It's about this big. For you, maybe this big.
I happen to have several tuning forks, sir.
This one is made from infernal iron, so this is probably not something you have on you.
No, I doubt it. I've got one in F sharp. If no.
Oh, sounds lovely, but I don't think this will suffice. But once I get the proper attunement between the planes, it is all just then a matter of hand waving and gesticulation with some chanting.
Gesticulation.
Gesticulation.
I found it. I found it. Your fork. And Grin just has a fork in his hand. I found it.
No, a tuning fork there, Grin. It's never mind. It's not even correct what I'm going to tell you, for he says the one that we are looking for is made out of infernal iron.
Yes, infernal iron, very warm to the touch. Even if you put it in very ice-cold water, immediately you pull out and very warm.
You know, the artificers, they call that something, I believe they say that is exothermic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, you're a learned man. Yes, very scientific. Exothermia.
Of all things, originating from the land of exothermia. So yeah, let's go to hell.
Yes. So I can begin this incantation presently. Lulu, did you take my tuning fork?
Lulu's like, I
With that,
have no need of your fork.
so we're on our way to hell, right?
Not quite yet.
Yeah, we've got about a day before they can get that set up. I do think that there's something that we should consider. Master Traxcore, if you have the ability to get us potentially to the location of Elturel, which we are right now assuming is hell, or at least potentially simultaneously the material plane and hell.
Could you scry there, sir?
Could you scry, and also, do you have the ability, or do you have a contact, perhaps, on the celestial plane? I don't, but it strikes me that we're starting to dabble in some things that, say, the competitors would like to have an interest in.
Yes. No, I can assure you once the incantations are complete, there will be a very visible opening into the realm where we are going. If it is indeed a place that is not going to be immediate oblivion in the case that Elturel was utterly destroyed, in which case we'll be staring into an inky blackness. As far as contacts with the Celestials, I know a name or two in my studies. I have certainly met some. However, they tend to be less than cooperative in dealing with anyone who wants to dabble in extraplanar travel. They look at it, especially those coming from our realm, as, to put it bluntly, they think of us as stupid animals. And they think that we going wandering into other planes is just recipe for destruction.
I mean,
However, I can't
generally
believe
they
so.
are correct.
I'm less concerned about us. I think it's more the fact that one of their former fellows, Zariel, is potentially back in play. They would care about that, for what it's worth.
I mean, was Zerial ever not in play? I'm confused.
I don't know, but I mean, I guess if the theory is that she's fallen and she's reached into the material plane, at a minimum, it may not be a bad idea that the interest of the opposite parties has been alerted.
Yeah,
Whether
I
they help or
agree.
not, that's an entirely separate thing. I think Master Traxor is absolutely correct. I have personally had no dealings with anyone or any being from that plane. Other parts
Know
of my
anything about
family
demons?
did.
I do know that Thunder accomplished what he wants. He wants the shield, and then he's going to go to sleep, get a long rest.
You will, in fact, have a shield when you wake up.
With a long rest.
I agree that Thunder will have a shield when he wakes up.
No, I get the shield with the demon in it.
Okay. Right.
Darren is absolutely not going to want to give that shield to Thunder.
I'm very okay with you taking a long rest, and then I will
See?
cast sleep on you while you're sleeping, and then I will substitute that fucking shield for something.
I'm starting to feel a lot like B.A. Baracus. B.A. Baracus don't get on no plane. I ain't gonna get on no plane. Don't put me on no fucking plane. You know what happened. I don't like no plane.
Lulu chimes in and says,
If you are traveling to where Elturel was, I would very much like to accompany you. This is where I lost my memory, and I believe this is where it can be restored.
How big is
Lulu?
Yeah, how big is
Lulu is
Bigger or smaller than Slobber Chops?
probably about the same size.
Okay.
But as you're kind of looking at Lulu a bit suspiciously, he says,
You know, just like Traxagor, don't let my outward appearance dissuade you of my power, for at one point I used to be able to change into a gigantic golden mammoth. And in this form, I served the Lady Zerial as her war mount.
Riss volunteers to ensure that he can like ride on his back like Slobber Chops.
now, so that's a good point. Is this a good idea to bring Zerial's mount back to her? No? Anyone?
Well, I can understand your hesitation. I know that we were betrayed. And, well, I have no longer any loyalty to what Zerial has become. I do believe that it was Zerial who sent me back here.
I see. So you were good Zerial's mount, not bad Zerial's mount.
This is true.
I see. It's all coming together now.
She was a loyal, faithful, righteous upholder of justice.
Very well. I withdraw my concern.
And I don't know why, but maybe, just maybe, there's a tiny spark of goodness deep down inside of her still. The same that allowed her to send me back here.
Luke, I totally understand where you're coming from on this, but if you're positive you want to go, I don't have an issue as long as the rest of the party doesn't.
Yes,
but,
I know, have no problem at all.
But know this, it will, no matter what you think is left of her, I I do not think that there is a way for her to come back.
I have resigned myself to that very same conclusion. But before I can see her destroyed or destroy her with my own hands, I have to see her with my own eyes to know that that truth is irrevocable. I will not hesitate when the moment arises, should she need be destroyed.
Understood.
Well, then all that's left to do is to pass the night, eh? Who wants drinks?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Tapping out before Mordecai tries to rape me.
Mordecai
Right,
never
that's-
rapes anyone. He convinces
Subtly
them.
convinces them to join him on his escapades,
Yes.
which ain't gonna happen here. Not gonna
Okay.
happen. Good night,
So
guys.
Thunder's having
You
sex
can
with
only
Mordecai,
ensure
and
that
I-
when you're here, Thunder. Once you leave, we role play for you. Don't you know how this works?
Yeah, I've seen how you all role play for Thunder.
Night, Matt.
Night, Matt. Bye bye.
Night, Matt.
Oh, see
Night,
ya.
Matt.
I
Ah.
Wait, are we kicking him off or are you actually leaving?
I'm leaving.
Okay, good night.
This is gonna make this so much easier when he's gone. Hang on.
We can.
Okay, yeah, no shit. So we got to take the shield from him, right?
Yeah, nobody was serious about letting Thunder carry the shield, right?
I was dead serious. Like he will have a shield, and somebody in Candlekeep can glamour that motherfucker to make sure it looks like the right one.
Yep.
I'm good. We can let him do whatever.
Well, I
Just-
mean, there is a couple of different. Yeah, like you said, there's a couple of
just
different
know
ways you
this,
could look at it.
Like, if he goes all Decepticon on us, I'm gonna cut his head off. I'm
Listen.
just saying.
Most of us have wanted to kill Thunder already,
where does
that's
the
not
hat-
when he's doing stuff that's evil and can.
Half the time, Thunder
goes
wants
by-
to kill himself, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I mean, if nothing else, it'd be a good distraction while we're trying to actually get some business done.
Yeah.
No place can be worse than the sewers that we spent a week in, so I'm
Yeah.
fine for whatever.
Yeah.
Going digging for treasure in Van Thamper's outhouse.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I was like, if you cut off Thunder's head, you need to wear his head as a hat, and then you can have a cat hat, and you can put slobber chops on top of that, so then you have a cat on a cat hat on as your hat.
That'd be pretty dope.
And then I'm gonna just run around saying meow.
Meow. Meow. I say meow to you all.
All right. So let's see now. I have been sending messages to people that need messages. And Traxagor says,
Meet me here at midday tomorrow, and the incantation should be complete, and we shall be on our way to the next plane, where Elturel resides, if it still exists at all.
Very well.
and Silvira says, I do not know how to thank you for this. Is a very dangerous journey that you are doing, even with the likes of Monsieur Traxagor. It is to journey to another plane. It is something that I do not have the fortitude nor the training for, as I'm just a researcher. But I will do what I can in order to assist you. Before you leave tomorrow, please stop by my laboratory, and I will try to equip you as best as I can to endure whatever the trials and tribulations that you will face shall be.
Well, I certainly like the sound of that.
And she gives a slight bow to each of you before she says, "I'm going to retire now to my laboratory, and I shall see you tomorrow before meeting here at Monsieur Traxagor's."
Okay.
Okay then.
Let's head back to the hearth.
So I was
Is
just.
there any?
I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. No. Go
No,
ahead.
no. I was off topic.
Oh, I was just gonna say, does anybody get anything they need to get done before we wake up in the morning and go see?
Just at the bar tonight.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I will again play with Darius Coda.
Okay.
Just to make a little extra coin.
Um,
Grab a beverage. I'll be right back.
Beverage grab.
Yeah, I don't have any like prep or anything. I think we need before we see Civicus.
Yeah, we don't have to role play. Me playing music. You just tell me how much money I made.
yes. Sorry, I'm just typing out here.
You are robbed for 50 gold and you wake up in a gutter with.
That shows you what you know.
Right.
With one hit point.
I don't keep any gold.
True.
You'd be like, hey, shit, it was better than my last gig.
I was gonna say I end up in a gutter almost every time I do this. Sometimes I still have the knife in me. So, like, seriously, there's some cool spells, right? Like, a lot of them. And I always have trouble, especially when I'm playing a caster class that doesn't get that many. Because there's like, oh, I want that one, and I want that one, and I want that one, and I can't have but two. And
I have trouble remembering all the spells I can do.
yeah. That's, yeah. So you guys are familiar with heat metal and knock? What would you choose?
Heat metal, yes.
Yep.
Not knock?
Not as familiar with knock. Is
Knock?
that like a prone thing?
No, it opens things for you.
Oh yeah, anything that's locked magically or otherwise can immediately be opened. And
it's sometimes like I don't remember one time when I used a knock spell, it blew this huge heavy door off the hinges. And like another time, it just like you hear this little click, and then the thing swings open. But then I remember one time, actually, Mark, that was in one of your games, and I was able to knock somebody's belt off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was like, no, that's a very interesting use of the spell. But yeah, that absolutely, it is a lock of sorts.
That's kind of cool. You could basically use it on anything that like fastens things together, right?
Like a zipper. Which
Yeah,
there's no zippers, but that would be funny.
Unsnap bra.
It was
It's
fun.
kind of interesting. Could you use it on like I was starting to think of like, links, something that like links things together. I'm like, well, yeah, that's actually the obvious use of the spell is to like use it on locks.
Or a
locks.
chain or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a door.
Right.
Or a chest. But yeah, no, I was. I remember I thought it was fun because I was like, oh, it kind of holds it closed like a lock would.
What's the name of the bar or the pub or whatever
The
it is?
Hearth. The Hearth.
It is the Hearth. Okay, that's
The
what I thought. Okay.
Hearth.
Yeah, I wonder if you could use knock on something like a crossbow to like knock the string.
Oh
a
yeah.
little
Oh yeah.
Twang the
Yeah,
firing
yeah.
release or whatever. It is.
Right. Well, yeah. If the string is tied in a knot, Yeah.
Oh,
undo
sure.
the knot. Boing, 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 boing.
Yeah. Nice. It'd be cool if you were like, at higher levels, you can pick more than one thing to cast the knock spell on. And as you keep going higher in level, more things at once get knocked.
All right. So hold on. Let me grab one. Oop. Grab a drink here.
Then there's also suggestion. It's now a second level spell. I think it used to be a third level spell back in the day.
Yeah. It was command, then what? Charm person, and then suggestion, I believe.
Yeah, and suggestion was the wicked one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought suggestion was actually a fourth level spell.
Yeah, maybe it was, but it's a second level spell now to a bard.
That makes sense.
Well, maybe they just reduced its power.
They might have.
It used to be a really fucking powerful spell.
Yeah, like you couldn't. It was like they'd say, like, for example, you can't tell somebody to go attack a red dragon when they know that red dragon will turn and kill them. However, it's totally feasible for you to tell them that, like, their loved one is being held by that red dragon, and the only way for them to go get them to save their loved one is to go attack that red dragon.
Just hold them off for a round or two.
Yeah, just hold them off for a round or two. That's actually what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, go map out their lair.
Yeah, right.
Come back with its prized possession,
But yeah, I remember suggestion in at least in second edition. I don't think there was a saving throw. I think it was automatic. I'm pretty sure it was. I know it was.
Perhaps, yeah.
But then things got a little too rapey.
You gotta at least give him a saving throw, man.
All right. So do you want to do a performance check as well there, Lucius?
Well, I suppose I'll need to if you're gonna make me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I just say no and then you just tell me how much I make?
Well,
no, that's okay. I'll give you a performance check.
Yeah, Darius got a 24. Ooh, and you got a 17. All right. Wow, and
we both crit failed on the other side. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, wow. All right.
I love that our crit fails are 7 and 10.
Right. Yeah. A 10 is
a 10 is a crit fail for him. In performance, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You are some performing motherfuckers. All right. So, you take home a total of, roll those dice, come on, there it is. You take home 10 gold, and Darius takes home, I'll write it down on his sheet. Yeah, he takes home 10 as well.
He split his earnings with me is really what he did. Like, he was way better than I was, and he's the star. I just go out there and play a little loot for him, maybe a little solo, with, every now and then, but nothing serious. And then he just gives me half the money because he's a great guy.
Right. Because he's just like that.
Because we know that he would really make all the money, except for what I could grab quickly at the end of the show that was still laying on the floor. So I'd pick up a couple gold worth of, silvers and copper, and then he'd be like, "Oh, here you go. Thank you for playing with me."
So much going on. I'm sorry. I had 2 weeks to think of mischievous shit to get into,
And you didn't need any help, right?
I don't ever need any help, no.
What is Jaren trying to cast?
Nothing. I'm screwing around with my character sheet right now.
He's casting Abjuration 2.
Something.
Components VSM. That sounds an awful lot like an STD.
Yep.
I do not think I will be happy again with my spell casting until they once more allow me to increase my spell save DC again. I want to specialize in ensuring that my spells hit home. That's what I want to be. That's the kind of caster I wish to be. I think I once had my spell save DC up near 25 for a character. Be like, yeah, roll intelligence, DC 25. Shit. That's my dump stat, man. I know, that's why I cast it on you.
You gotta give people a chance.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to.
It makes it fun. Keeps it interesting.
People would often say that to me, and I would always say to them, winning is fun.
You're not wrong.
But you learn more from losing than you do from winning.
Yeah, because that's by necessity. It's the same reason the brain slows down really traumatic events, so that you can learn from them.
You're like, okay, now observe the way that rattlesnake is
Yeah.
uncoiling as it launches at my face. All right.
You see
Oh,
how
Jay's got a great rattlesnake story.
Let's
Yeah,
hear
that is true. So, we did have a rattlesnake in the house about 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, that's not
And
nice.
long story short, yeah, I was like sitting on the couch, like watching TV, Critical Role actually, and my son walks by. He's like coming around the corner, and he goes like, "Hey, Dad, there's a snake in the house." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He's like, "No, I think there's like actually a snake in the house." I was like, "What? The snake?" He's like, "Yeah, a snake. Where?" It's like right here, and he's like pointing down. So I like have to like lean over and like look over the couch, and like no shit, there's about a 2-foot rattlesnake in my house. So he had to like move around, and my wife's like sleeping, so I was like, well, I don't want to like wake her up, because if she comes out, she's gonna scream,
Freak out.
and it's gonna make this whatever I have to do way worse.
Yeah.
So of course, like I don't have a handy samurai sword or anything like that. So I'm like, and I got nice hardwood floors, so I'm like, well, there's only so
Yeah.
much I can do here. So at that point, I went out and got a 45-pound kettlebell, and like I stalked him through the house, and then
You just
I,
set
like,
the kettlebell down.
like went after him. I went, as they say, I would like to rage, and I just fucking went to town on it.
Yeah.
And it like popped like a balloon kind of everywhere. So I had to pick
Damn.
that shit up.
So it wasn't a rattlesnake, but
Oh no! Yeah.
No, this is. I have a
Yeah.
story similar. It
Oh,
wasn't
I'm
with
sorry.
a rattle.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't with a rattlesnake, but it was kind of. So, when I was like 16, I was doing some yard work for my aunt and my cousin. My cousin had just bought a house, and it butted up to a field that was like 3 foot high tall grass, and so I was weed whacking it and a whole bunch of stuff, and there was this like bird house, like a martin house up on top of a pole, and it was made out of wood, and my aunt said, hey, grab those cinder blocks there and bust that house down so we can remove this pole. And so I started doing that, and as soon as I hit that thing with a cinder block, a piece of cinder block, at one point it cracked that house in half, and it fell to the ground, and when it did, like a 6-foot bow snake fell to the ground with it. and I like snakes. I handled 8-foot Burmese pythons at the Science Museum of Oklahoma when I was a kid. So like snakes don't bother me at all. And I was like, oh, cool, it's purple. I like it's a cool snake. And my aunt just starts freaking out and screaming at the top of her lungs from like 30 feet away. Like she's nowhere near this thing. And she's yelling at me, kill it, kill it, kill it. And so I look at her and I kind of do the whole like, what? And then she's like screaming, kill it, kill it. So I was like, okay. And I put my foot on the back of its head and I start looking around, its tail's whipping up and stuff. And I can't find anything, like you said, there's no samurai sword handy, sitting nearby. But what I did find was a chainsaw. So I quick grabbed the thing, ripped the chainsaw cord, started it up, and I cut the thing's head off with the chainsaw.
Now that's pretty badass.
Ash would be proud.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I cut my hand off and attached that chainsaw to my bloody stump.
Yeah.
And then I found $5.
I thought you were gonna say then you cut your hand off and put the bloody stump of the snake head on there, and we're like, hey, look at me, I'm a snake.
Hi, Aunt Gail.
Oh.
What's for dinner? I'm sure hungry.
I'm a snake.
So Jay, like how far? So do you live like in the outskirts of Austin, or do you live in the city itself? Like how far?
Yeah, I'm probably like 7 or 8 miles from, like 10 miles from downtown.
All right,
Yeah.
so you live in an area where it's not totally unusual that a snake could make it into your house.
I mean, the subdivision he's in doesn't look all that unsimilar from the subdivision we're in.
Yeah.
So, but it's awesome. Like, you'd been to the place that me and Katie had that was by the lake. At one point, I pulled a glass out of the cupboard, and a scorpion fell out and smacked me in the chest. And then that was the second scorpion encounter I had there. And although we didn't see any poisonous snakes, I did, for the first time in my entire life, I saw a tarantula in the wild, just walking around like out by the dock, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's a fucking tarantula!" And I'm like, I've only ever seen those in like pet stores and
movies,
zoos and shit. Yeah, in movies. I was just like, there he is. He's just kind of sitting there like, do 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 do.
They're so fragile.
Yeah.
They're very fragile.
Like,
you can't drop them if you're holding one. Otherwise, they're just dead.
Yeah. It's So it's even like in the city, it's just this is the Southland, and so you have no idea like what poisonous creepy crawlies are going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tucson. There's tarantulas. We even have blonde tarantulas here, so they're like they're yellow tarantulas.
Yeah.
And scorpions and javelinas and stuff like that. But you can, if you go out to the outskirts of Tucson, you see those things all over the place. But like where I live, half a mile away from the University of Arizona, so the worst I've seen is little desert lizards and stuff.
Yeah, we have like little lizards that zip around here, but yeah, I have yet to see anything worse than Oh, but fucking Courtney, when she was going for a run the other morning, she said, she wasn't sure what type of snake it was, but she was just running along the sidewalk and on the grass. She said it was probably about maybe 2 inches around and all kind of coiled up and just sunning itself, because this was like right in the morning. And it was a snake, and she had no idea how long, but she did say it was fat. It was about 2 inches around, which means it's probably a pretty decent sized one. And she said she was gonna go take it. She thought, man, I should have taken a picture. But at the time she was just running, she was like, ah, and then, like jumped and like, ah, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, when I used to go trail biking in Colorado, and I'd be biking, trails and stuff, and they're like established trails, but they're still pretty wild. And I used to see rattlesnakes all the time. Just like sometimes they'd be laying across the trail because they can get the direct sunlight. So it's like, all right, do I ride into the grass where there might be more rattlesnakes, or do I just try to jump this thing? Or
you guys ever see coconut crabs?
They're huge.
Yeah, when I went to Jamaica, I was at a resort, and I was walking back from a bar one night, and we had seen these massive holes in the ground. Just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, what the fuck is this shit? And it's late night, and I've been drinking pretty heavily, and like attached to the side of a trash can was, I mean, this thing. I mean, I ain't joking. I ain't joking, man. It is massive. It is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen, just out in the wild in front of me, like just bizarre creature. Yeah, that shit's
Giant sea bugs. That's what they are. They're giant sea bugs.
Don't like it.
I don't like anything with an exoskeleton.
Yeah, I don't like any is capable of turning me into an exoskeleton.
Fair.
Well, shit, those Australian huntsman spiders.
Oh yeah, fuck those.
I know.
Man. Fuck
I know
those.
that they're totally safe. Like they're not, they're not
I don't care.
They're not
Fire.
aggressive or anything, but they're fucking huge. I saw a picture of one. This guy, he was taking like a little video, and he's like, yeah, this one's huge. I'm gonna give you a little perspective on how big this guy is, and he pans back. And you see his ceiling fan, and the fucking spider is as big as his goddamn ceiling fan. Like, ouch. Jesus Christ, this thing's just, and he's like in his bedroom, and this thing is just sitting on the ceiling in his bedroom.
Yeah, just like I'm like that thing is like it's like the thing from Alien, the little skittering aliens,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Yep. No, thank you. Where's the shotgun?
Yeah. Australian.
I don't care if I have to repair the ceiling. Popcorn covers a lot of shit.
Give them both barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got that other spider that's small but super aggressive. The funnel web spider.
Oh yeah, those things are funny.
They'll chase you. They'll like run after you.
That's not good.
And they are highly venomous too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the very, like, there's a lot of things that I don't like about being way up north, but there's a couple things that I think are fan-fucking-tastic about it. And there's exactly one native poison insect species that can live here. That's it. And it's they're everywhere. It's the brown recluse.
Yeah. Well, and brown recluse, you might find them up there, but they're super rare. I mean,
we've got them here for sure.
They're everywhere in the south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's attic. Fiddlebacks. Yeah, they're in everybody's attic.
Brown recluses. What we get.
Yeah, you go to Georgia. You go to Georgia in the woods, and they're everywhere. But Minnesota, you'd be lucky if you found one. I mean,
I have seen them here. I mean, I know that they're here, but like. The only other way that you end up getting any kind of poisonous anything here is if it arrives in your fruit.
Right.
And they're most always dead.
Yeah.
Not always, but most always dead.
Yeah, that is
Jahun, huh?
Jahun. Yeah, that is a good thing about living in the cold, is that it kills all the dangerous insects.
Yeah, I mean anything that's venomous,
Very
really. Like there's no venomous snakes here either.
Yeah, I mean the in exchange what you get are not venomous stuff, but like
larger predators.
Yeah, wolves and bears and shit. So.
Mountain lion, lynx.
And,
yeah. You know what though? Those are mammals. I can relate to them.
Right.
Like, we can look at each other in the eyes, and I can say, "You don't want to fuck with me." You cannot make that same argument with any other kind of genus phylus.
Well, yeah. Not only that, like a mountain lion's not going to be hiding in a crack in your bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
Like
in between your toilet seat and the actual porcelain. Yeah. Be careful when you got to take a dump in the middle of the night.
Yeah, a grizzly bear is not going to be, under the covers of your bed.
Well, I mean, are we talking a camper or a home?
All right. Well, if it is, you're not going to like climb in next to it, not knowing that there's something there.
I mean, again, we'll go back to Joey Joe was like, I don't know what to make of this. He'd had a bunch of drinks. I could see a similar situation for certain people going, into your bedroom at night. Well, it looks like so and so.
All right. All right. So Lucius, during a performance, as you are playing accompaniment to Darius's melodic, deep tenor voice, you get momentarily distracted as there is some sort of an altercation happening in the far corner of the bar. So you see Little One, who is the big ogre who was sitting there reading. The last time you ran into Little One, God, what was he reading? He was sitting there reading The Sum of Theology by Saint Vithira, a servant of Ogma, which is a extremely difficult to read esoteric tome about some of the catechisms of the particular religion of Ogma, which it seemed like, again, like this is very, very, very odd. Ogma is the god of wisdom and knowledge. And yeah, Little One seems very different from any ogre you've ever seen or heard of, as Little One tends to just, he had a stack of books next to him as he was sitting by the bar. And once again, he's got his stacks of books. But you see him all of a sudden raise his voice, and he stands up and he's yelling at some local who's kind of looks like he's kind of drunkenly standing by the table, kind of wavering back and forth. And once he stands up, the local's looking straight up in the air because this guy, Little One is about 9 feet tall, and Little One yells at him, and he says, "I told you to leave me be." And then you hear him yell again. He says, "And you!" And he's pointing towards the bar. He says, "I told you the band is not for sale, barter, or gift. Ask again and you'll see a much different side of me. You won't like me." Roll a perception.
Who's this? Everybody?
This is just Lucius.
Oh, me.
Or whoever is at the bar.
Like basically anybody who's paying attention to what I'm saying right now. Oh.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Yeah. Okay.
He was concentrating on a really difficult power chord, and he couldn't,
I just had this brilliant idea for a new sitar solo.
All right. So let me see here. What do we got? And you got a 17, correct?
18.
18. All right. You're kind of looking, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? You see the local, he kind of like raises his hands, and he's like turns around, and you're looking at the bar, and there's a number of people at the bar, but you see somebody who looks to be very pointedly not trying to be seen. And it's Mordecai's at the bar, and he's like, "Oh."
Of course he is.
What? But it dies down as the local sort of wanders away, and then you see Little One kind of put his fists on the table and sit back down, and you see him crack his book again, but he's staring right at the bar where Mordecai is the whole time. You have no idea what prompted this, but apparently, yeah, some shit is transpiring. All right, and for the other portion, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, Grin, you are in your room, and you hear a knock at the door.
Is this is the bar the bar still open?
I would say this is probably shortly after you retire to your room for the evening. So this is going to be after all of the festivities. I'm assuming you would probably hang out and watch the performances. Darius and Lucius have been really like, you can appreciate a good ballad, and a good sailor shanty, and they are, yeah, it's possibly the best duo you have ever heard. So you're like, oh shit, these guys are actually pretty legit. The
They
fuck are
don't
they doing
suck
with
all
us?
that bad after all.
Right. Like
I
you're like
can't
that
believe
poor
it.
poor dumb half orc got sucked into this just like me. But yeah, you hear a knocking, a rapping at your bedroom door.
And suddenly there came a tapping at my chamber door.
Yes, I'll go answer the door.
You see a young and comely lass, probably looking about.
Is her name Raven?
22 years old. She introduces herself. She says,
she's between 2 and 20 years old.
two and 20, so 22.
Yeah, that's a very specific age. I'm just saying.
in the parlance of
Does she have a
Game of
badge on
Thrones.
that says her age?
Yeah, you would guess she's early 20s. She's certainly of age, and she's not like some, teenage lass. She looks that she's got at least a mature aura to her. And she says that her name is Marin. And she says that I saw you at the hearth tonight, and she says I honestly I kind of couldn't help but notice you, and once I noticed you, it was kind of hard to take my eyes off of you.
Is that so?
And she's like, well, I mean, did you notice me at the bar?
I don't recall, but it was quite crowded.
Roll give me either an investigation or a perception. I'll let you choose whichever is better. Oh, yeah, you actually did remember seeing her, and as you're used to sort of keeping your wits about you and having a sort of situational awareness of your surroundings, you did notice her that she was kind of eyeing you. And although you are the handsome roguish type and you do tend to attract the stares of some females, you did notice that she was, definitely letting her gaze linger.
Well, so she's pretty good looking, eh?
Yeah, I'd say she's she's probably like a 15, 16 charisma sort of way. She's
very attractive. Very attractive indeed.
She's got huge tracts of land.
Well, that's very nice that you noticed me.
And
Would you
she's
like
like,
to come in?
she says, thank you so much. She says, I was going to ask, but I didn't want to seem too forward.
So I let her in, and as she walks in, I'm gonna try to surprise her and do a grab her around the neck.
All right.
You're gonna choke her?
Make a grapple check.
Grapple. Shoot, how do I do grapple?
It's either a strength or dexterity check plus your plus if you've got athletics or acrobatics, you can use that as well. And then it's a contested check against your opponent's strength or dexterity.
I'll
Before you use your inspiration, Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that, like if she had rolled a natural 1 or something like that. Yeah, if you yes, now would be an opportune time to.
I'll use a luck point, and I don't have inspiration, so I'll use a luck point.
Gotcha.
Oops.
Whoops. Oh, there you go. That got it. All right. Yes. So you get her in like a sort of a rear naked choke.
And I pull out, I grab her and I pull out my pistol and put it right next to her head. Like sort of at the same time.
Yeah, just kind of a. She says, my lord, I'm so sorry. He just told me to flirt with you. He paid me. He just told me to flirt with you. I'm so sorry. I meant no ill. Please don't hurt me.
Mordecai, show yourself now.
And she's like, I don't know where he is. He's the one that paid me. He's your friend, right? He said this would be a laugh. He said it'd be a joke. He didn't say that anything bad was going to happen. Oh, please. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
Show yourself where I pull the trigger.
She says, I swear. Oh my God, I swear. There's, he paid me. I'm so sorry. I'll leave and I'll never tell him.
I fire into the side.
Wait, where do you
Shoot her?
fire?
Did you just kill her?
Where do you fire?
The side of her head.
Like shoot her in the head?
I'm gonna shoot her in the head.
Gotcha. Yes. Roll. Yeah, I mean, make a to hit roll, but do it with it's gonna be advantage, since she is grappled.
And I was worried about thunder.
Yeah, I know.
That should have rolled critical. That should have rolled critical damage too.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it did it.
Oh.
Does the critical also get exploding?
The critical just does. You get to roll it again, but yeah, if you roll it, if you roll it again and it explodes, then yeah.
So 7 more points, I think. Unless, oh, sorry, no, the 4 is the critical. Never mind. So it's 9 total.
Shoots her in the head.
Yeah.
Her head basically gets blown in half, and her brains
Kind of pops like a melon.
Yeah, gore just spatters across the room as the loud boom goes off, and her body immediately slumps.
All right, I poke at it. Does it turn into Mordecai?
It does not.
All right, I'm gonna reload my pistol and put my armor on and go into Mordecai's room.
Yeah, Mordecai hears this bang and he goes, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
That trade went a little too well.
You put your pistol, or you reload your pistol, put your armor on. You go to Mordecai's door, and what would you like to do?
I kick it open.
Make a.
I was about to say the same thing, Mark.
Strength check. Oh yeah!
Shit.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, you kicked the fuck out of that door. You literally kicked the door off its hinges. You
were raging.
Yeah.
Knock knock.
Boy, yeah, that would have kicked down like an iron door.
At this point, Jaren is like walked out like
Yeah, he's
in half
poking his head
armor
up.
with
Huh?
And he's like, "What the fuck is going on out here?"
Mordecai's room is empty. You do not see anybody in the room at all. Let's see. We've got some things happening simultaneously at this point.
Does that mean should I roll a perception to see if I heard the gunshot, or can we reasonably assume that I
Well,
did?
either the gunshot or the door getting kicked in.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Like,
Which was louder? I mean,
like-
honestly.
So, hold on. I'll just do this out
Should we
in the
roll
open, so I'm
initiative?
not so I'm not typing a million times because
are there any? Is there anybody else like in the hall? Are other people coming out in the hallway trying to figure out what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Basically, we'll pause it just for a moment as Grin kicks open the door. At that point, you've got your head out the door, going, "What the fuck?" You see Grin kick in Mordecai's door, fully like loaded for bear, pistol bared. And at that point, we'll pause it just momentarily to switch back over to something else. So Mordecai, you are at Thunder's door, and you knock on the door, and Thunder opens it up, and you ask what you were going to ask. And at that point, you feel a tap on the back of your shoulder. And you turn around and you see it's Silvira Savicus.
No. Well, this is awkward.
And she has a very stern look on her face. And she says, "Explain yourself to me at this moment, or you shall be destroyed utterly."
Well, in this form, or would you like me to change?
Please resume whatever form that you find most pleasant, but I shall tell you, if you do lie, this is the form that you will die in.
Oh, well, foolery? I'm partaking in foolery.
I have heard that from a very reputable source that there has been someone very recently who has been impersonating me throughout Candlekeep. Now, this is something that is beyond dangerous, not only to the person who is doing the impersonating, but also to me, to my studies, and to every other person here at the keep.
Fair enough.
Is there anything that you would like to tell me as far as your intentions? You say this is for foolery. I would
you
like...
might want to know that Grin believes he slept with you.
Well, that would explain a thing or two. However, I think that this is more than just foolery, yeah?
It's just sex, mostly. Very sweaty, man-on-man sex.
And she says, Monsieur Thunder, what is it that this impostor was asking you shortly before I show up? At which point Thunder goes, Thunder looks very confused.
As always.
Yeah. Thunder goes, wait, there was you lady, you come to my door and you say to me you need shield. You want shield, but you give back tomorrow, and then you come to my door again, and now you are at my door, and also Mordecai at my door, and I am not sure what's going on. And she says, she looks to you and she was like, so it appears you want to have the Shield of Gargaroth, yeah?
Just, I'm interested in it, as interested as anybody else, I suppose.
She says, I am very concerned about, given your nature This is also my nature. These things tend to have more temptations for cousins like us than these other normal motor folk. Yeah. So I am going to ask you what your intentions were with the shield.
Well, as anyone's else at this point, I'd just really like to. I'd like to continue my conversation with it, if I'm to be forthright with you.
So she says, I can tell that you are being honest with me. So you have been talking with the voice inside the shield. What has it been saying to you? Has it made any promises?
Promises, no. But it is quite intriguing.
She says, so what is it that intrigues you about the shield? You know its nature now. You explain everything. Traxigor explains everything. This is something that is beyond dangerous. We entrust you, we entrust the companions that you are with to take this very evil thing down into the 9 hells in order for it to be destroyed. And now it is don't you worry.
Did the fire alarm go off when you spoke the 9 hells?
There is a small bird around here. Someone catch this small bird. But it is yeah, I have I think hardwired smoke detectors. And so I changed the batteries, but after 2 days they start going. So I have to like go to the circuit breaker and yeah, it's on my list of shit to do.
Get back to the part where you kill Mordecai. Come on.
Yeah. But
tell me more about the smoke detector. I'm really curious.
I'm like, Mordecai, it's his tricks. They're working in real life. Damn it. He's like, press the digitation. What's that? A distraction? And there they go. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to reset those momentarily. And you all can hang in suspense.
That's thaumaturgy, but carry on.
Not if it's Mordecai.
Hey, no shit. I'm just saying, if you have to roll a new character, we could really use a cleric. I'm just throwing I just for what it's worth. And by the way, Grin, that goes for you too, since you're now like a fucking murderer.
I already know what my next character is. Is now.
I knew that like the minute you smoked that chick.
Man, I figured you would punch her, hit her, something. I didn't think you were gonna.
I was desperately trying to type to you. I was like, "Hey, man, they could just leave us in the 9 hells if you fuck this up, and now it's way worse. Way worse."
Wow.
Hobo slayers, bar patron slayers. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of slaying. Of innocence. Well, maybe not so innocent, but you catch my drift.
In the words of Ash, I don't even know these fucking guys.
Oh my!
Yeah, hold on.
I mean, if we need to save this until next week, it's fine. Right?
What? I don't understand. Are you holding out some sort of hope here? I don't.
I'm going to be fine. Don't you worry.
You've got to stop living off of that worthless hope shit.
Just really want to talk to the shield. That's all. Single conversation.
Hey man, the shield's been talking to all of us, man. You could have kept having that conversation. It would have been totally cool. I'm just saying.
I will go out on a limb here, and I will say I have not heard from the shield.
Really?
There's been no attempt at. Maybe it's because of my nature. It doesn't believe that I have anything to gain from talking to it.
Are you saying the shield is racist?
I am not.
fucking cracker ass shield. Where the fuck is? All right, that's a different one now. Damn it.
Welcome to the world of home ownership.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, stupid ass smoke alarms. How many fucking smoke alarms does one house need?
Start ripping them out of the ceiling.
Right.
Except his are hardwired, so it's
I know. I
Yeah.
know. I'm just like, stupid son of a bitch and smoke alarms. I have no idea which one's going off now. Anyway, all right, ignore it. Ignore the comments
Look,
from the peanut gallery.
I just
So-
want to have a conversation. That's all.
She's like,
It spoke to me a couple of times. It asked me to speak with it and to communicate with it, and I've tried, but it's since silenced. And I was curious what it had to say.
She says, your curiosity is a very dangerous thing. I know that you are skilled with your arts of illusion. And this thing could be very beneficial for where you are going. However, I believe that there are some things that need to be settled between your companions before all of this. And at that moment, you see, or you can hear a boom go off. Yes. And then as everybody's kind of looking around, you can hear a second sound. It sounds like a door being kicked in. And you hear Jaren yelling, like, what the hell is going on? What in the nine hells is happening? At that point, down the hall, damn this smoke alarm. At that point, down the hall, you have Grin in Mordecai's room. Jaren, you're right hot on his heels. And yes, how would people like to play this from here?
Ooh, well, I guess I'll still pop that invisibility as I hear the boom and the boom, because I already clicked it earlier, and that would fall in line with the sequence of events.
Yeah, that'll get me out into the hallway then.
Like, so Savicus is in Mordecai's room, and then you go invisible.
No. We're in Thunder's room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Where's Thunder's room? Like, when I came out into the hallway, am I in view of Thunder's room? Like,
No, Thunder's room is going to be sort of imagine sort of down the hall. You take a right, and there's a door to the right and the left, and then there's another hall that branches right and left, and then Thunder's room is going to be on the you take a left, and it's the door on the left. So it's kind of, you have to go down one hall, take a turn, then take another turn. Yeah. So yeah, it's not within clear sight.
I'm gonna go towards where I heard
a lot going on.
Yep, I'm moving towards the gunshot.
I'm moving towards the last loud bang I heard, whatever it was.
Yeah,
So
well,
at this point, I can take this and throw this away, because now we have our own adventure, which is so much more interesting anyway.
So I kick in the door. I see Mordecai's not in there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anywhere he could be hiding? I guess as soon as I look, I just yell Mordecai.
Yes. And so the rest of you hear the bang, boom, and then followed by the shout of Mordecai. Mordecai, you try to go invisible. And as you start casting the invisibility spell, you see Silvira, and she kind of knits her brow in a second, and she's like, no. And you turn invisible for a second, and then whoop, you just turn invisible again.
Oh, sorry, instinct. Not you, Grin.
She says, do not try this again. She's like,
perhaps we can finish this conversation in the morning.
She says, you stay here. I'm going to go see what is going on with the rest of your group. Monsieur Thunder. And we shall return. Monsieur Mordecai, if you are not here, I can guarantee you that you will not like the outcome. Please, obey me this one time, and we shall see what can be done.
Very well.
As I try to find this goddamn smoke alarm. Wait, no, I swear to God, I fucking reset that one. Yes, we shall. All right, so Grin and Jaren, as you guys are, yelling for Mordecai, searching the room, you see Silvira Savikas, and she comes into the room.
I immediately point my gun at her and I say, Mordecai, show yourself.
And she looks at you. She says, "Mes amis, no, this is not necessary. I have your friend Mordecai. He is in another room down the hall. There has been much to explain for things tonight. Please follow me."
I follow her, but I keep my gun on her.
She seems very
So-
unconcerned about your gun.
I'm just curious, but the door that where is Grin's room in relation to Mordecai's room?
Like, are they
Are we
passing
walking in the
by
hallway
Grin's
and see a
room?
dead body?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, look, because like I assume the door is still open. There's a dead body laying there.
Oh yeah. And Silvira Savikas.
There's a dead body. There's a headless body in Grin's room.
But can
Yeah.
you see that as you're walking from where you
Like,
are
is this
now
the first
to
time
where we are?
Savikas sees that dead body?
If
Oh
you-
yeah.
if you were to-
She
yeah,
sees
if
the
you were
dead body.
to-
She
yeah, if
seems
you were
to
to
be
walk past the
less.
room.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does not seem to be as concerned about the dead body as you might think somebody would be concerned. Like, apparently, like, this is not a
misdemeanor, really.
right. She is
Okay.
unperturbed. Okay, so if we have the rooms.
Well, yeah, we have a whole tool we can use
to draw things, right? Oh, and then there's a hall. So this, and then we have rooms here. So, and then there's doors here and here and here. Here and okay, so I'm sorry, just I'm drawing this kind of crudely here. Did not expect this to happen, although I'm not upset at all. I think this is super fun.
You really didn't expect this to happen?
Yeah. So basically, what we have right now is let's say this is Mordecai's room. And then this is Thunder's room over here. So you'd have to go here, down the hall here, and then up. Yeah, it's like a kind of an S turn.
Which one is Grin's room?
Grin's room is I would say that your room is probably over here. And then you had Lady Elsa's room, which is next to Thunder's. Jaren. Darius, and then there are two more rooms for Lucius and Riz that are going to be off to the side, on the opposite end. So we've got
even further down.
Yes. Again, apologies. This is not the map that you deserve. It's the map you need. So yeah, that is sort of the gist of the layout here. Riz. Oh boy, and Lucius. There we go. Yes. Yeah. And all right, we Silvira Savikas leads everybody over to Thunder's room, where Mordecai is standing there. Thunder looks very confused.
Technically, there's 3 of me there. She didn't tell me I couldn't multiply. She just said I had to stay here.
Oh, I don't know any of these guys.
Yeah. I mean, if she walks up and you've got mirror image, like she'll just walk up and look at you and shake her head and just snap her fingers and the mirror images disappear. She's like, seriously.
I was in the middle of having a conversation with myself.
She was like, she says, I will tolerate no more of this foolery, as you call it. I need straight answers, as this is a very, very serious thing that we are doing.
I'm gonna try to walk right up to Mordecai with the pistol right to his head. Unless anyone tries to stop me.
So Silvira will, she'll say, please. Pardon, monsieur, I have questions that need to be answered.
I yell, I've had it with your tricks. You made a fool of me for the last time.
She says, I am very sorry that you must endure this for a short time longer, but I must insist, as once I have finished my questions with the illusionist, it will be up to you and your other companions to decide what you would like to do. But until then, I must insist that I have my questions answered. I beg your pardon. She says,
please take all night. Let's discuss this.
She says, what if you have a conversation with the being that resides within the shield? What is it that you seek from this conversation?
Insight as to why it is reaching out to me and what it wants.
I have already told you, as has Traxagor, it seeks only to corrupt. Now, other than the word and the advice from 2 renowned experts in the field, what more could you possibly need to know besides this? And I guess this is even irrelevant. I want to know, like, if we, as in the combined mages from Candlekeep, decide to send you still into the 9 hells in possession of this shield, can we trust that you will do what is right and that you shall destroy the shield and try to return the contract that binds Elturel?
I am the one that brought you the contract.
He can't be trusted at all.
And you've bestowed the one who has spoken the most with the shield with the responsibility to carry the shield, not myself. Which I question the judgment of, if I am to be honest with you.
She says,
but that's neither here nor
there. I look to most of your companions. Some of them, I believe, have good judgment. The task of carrying the shield of Gargoath, perhaps given to one who is obviously very brave and very strong. However, I too am wondering if he might not be the one to be its true bearer. But
and I was merely trying to relieve him of the burden.
No, I do not think this is what you do. I do not think that you are trying in any way to help anyone except yourself. This is what I wonder. Now, I know that you have some very special abilities, some arcane power is one who also has some. I recognize this, and I know that this could be very useful for your companions, especially where you go, especially being who you are. Because, as we both know, our kind, we have intimate ties to the nine hells. We are part infernal, all of us to
course.
our core.
Yes.
This could
Indeed.
be a incredible asset or a absolutely crippling deficit.
It's definitely one of those two.
This is what I am trying to tell. I am trying to see if are you an asset? Are you going to be beneficial in this mission? Or are you going to be the one that brings everything to collapse?
Hmm. It's a good question. I believe I've time will tell.
Are you good or evil? There's a lot of facets to what you're
Like, you
Where do
know,
I begin? I don't know.
right?
I understand.
Say
your
what you will about
concerns.
Mussolini. He got the trains around on time. I don't know. Yeah.
You know that everyone calls Hitler a bad guy, but hey, he did kill Hitler.
Damn.
Of course, he also killed the guy who killed Hitler. So
So maybe, but then again, if he killed the guy who killed the guy who killed Hitler,
this is
then-
true.
Yes, I understand that I could be of great assistance. I don't know that it's someplace that I wish to travel to, but if I must, then I must. And if I am there, then it is of best interest that I make sure myself and everyone survive to make it back. Because I certainly don't want to spend any more time there than I have to. And it was my hope that perhaps I could gain some type of insight by speaking with it.
I see what you're doing. You're very cleverly not lying, but again, not.
Who, me?
Like, are you sure you're an illusionist and not a lawyer?
It's all
I
about
know a guy.
misdirection. Illusion
Yeah.
is the same thing, you know.
She is going to look at all of you, and she says, uh, I myself, I cannot say. Perhaps it is my profession. I spend too much of my time with my face in a book and not enough time relating to other people. I am not sure. I do know that he does have a unique perspective, as indeed any one of our race would, traveling to this area. However, if he is to be trusted or not, I leave this up to you. I cannot say that you must take him with, nor can I say that you must condemn him to another fate. However, this I leave to you, as I will not be dealing with him in the same situation. So, if you believe that he is to be some use to you, I think that uh, this is something you need to decide before the morning.
And what of the dead woman?
This is very unfortunate. However, I think that given the nature of what it is your group is trying to accomplish in life, I think some small evils can be overlooked in the face of a greater good. I do not believe that Monsieur Green was wrong, although he, let me rephrase. I do not. I think he was wrong to act so hastily. However, I think that given the circumstance, I cannot say I would not have done the same thing.
Well,
Oh,
then here's
I
to
don't,
the spirit of forgiveness for all.
I don't care of his reasoning for killing her. I mean, that's a dead body. He's got blood all over him. Surely others have heard the sound. I don't care why he did it. I mean, we've got a dead body to contend with and deal with before others notice that she's
So-
missing, and I want to know what we are going to do about it.
You may
Yeah,
have more than one dead body to contend with before the morning comes.
She says, as far as the blood, he beepity boppity boo, and she casts prestidigitation, and all the blood that's all over Grin immediately disappears. His clothes look fresh, pressed. Everything is clean as the day that it was tailored. And she says, now the body, we can make sure that it gets a proper burial. We shall tell her next of kin that there was an unfortunate accident in Candlekeep during some sort of arcane research. As these things do occasionally happen, it is not a lie that I feel extremely comfortable with, but again, I think that given the nature of the gravity of the situation, some things need to be
Grin with
put,
that.
put to
Grin
the
says,
side.
Grin says, he shall share. He shall share the advantages and disadvantages that she had, and I point at Mordecai and fire.
Kaboom! All right, roll to hit.
Are we also rolling initiative at this point? Or
Well,
are we just going?
I think that would
Okay.
be that would probably be a surprise attack.
Okay. No, right. I get it.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, we can roll initiative after this.
Yeah. I
Fair-
would say
fair point. No,
yeah,
good
that's
point.
that's
Yeah.
that's the first hostile
God
action.
damn. All right.
And so it does 13 force damage
Roll
to
at strength DC 12 or knockdown.
for Mr. Mordecai as you get slammed in the chest by the pistol of Grin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I had a porcelain
I'm
serving
sorry.
tray tucked into my jacket.
I'm sorry. I was aiming for your head.
It's a hell of a shot. I was aiming for his head.
All right.
How's our critical failures liking this? The
Because
it's
I'm
a total
about-
party kill that has nothing to do with the DM.
I'm about to take a bonus action here in a second.
All right. So yes, Mordecai, you do need to make a DC 12 strength save or be knocked prone.
Prone it is.
Oh, oh,
Holy shit. He does like a triple flip through the air, like the Quentin Tarantino-esque.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
no, man, this is like straight Sam Peckinpah right now.
I'll burn inspiration to kind of roll with the hit.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, because I was like,
I don't
boy,
want to look too uncool.
All right. And at this point, hold on. Now I need to actually get like characters up on the. I need to get some like little figures going up. And boy, why the fuck screen not wanting to do stuff? Let's. Where is the select? I was gonna say.
Sexy time it is, Mordecai.
Let's it's 11:47. I should really get like a legit combat map up and ready to go for this for next time. Or shit, we could even try running this in between sessions before we get to the game that we're playing. But I know not to say I this is the shit that we'll remember 10 years from now. Not the fact that somebody had a +2 sword or somebody did something neat. So let's end it right here. We'll start next week with everybody rolling initiative and seeing how shit
It
shakes
is
out.
about to go down.
It's about to go down.
So I like that murder and cover up of murder is fine, but me knocking on the door and asking to see a shield is apparently punishable by death.
Well,
Yeah,
you're-
it's funny too, because like I was thinking
No, that's
about
just Mordecai's point. of
like
view,
the
not mine.
player knows what's going on between you all, but like the character doesn't, right? Like first of all, Mordecai's never done anything like this to him, right? And so he doesn't even know that like all these accusations are like legit. And then what I do know now is that Grin apparently will just shoot somebody in the face in cold blood.
Just for
Sim-
hitting on him.
Simply because
Just for saying that he thought
well,
he was cute.
yeah, like because he thought it might be Mordecai. Like,
Hey,
like as
you
far as
can't
I'm
spell
concerned,
pirate
Mm.
without irate.
yeah. So yeah, I'm I'm
don't forget,
I'm like the lunatic here is Peregrine.
Yeah,
don't forget,
no.
This is one of my abilities.
I totally agree with you.
Oh, where is it?
He's unhinged.
Go. No, it's not going. There it goes.
Bad reputation. Yep. You can get away with
There
minor
it
criminal
is.
offenses such as breaking down doors at a
That's
local
like a,
shop.
yeah, but that's like getting away with like a fucking speeding ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I don't know that
Blowing the
Murder
head off of
2.
a-
Yeah, I don't know if Murder
A
2 is
random
considered
barmaid.
Oh no, I'm not saying Grin
minor
should get-
offense.
I'm not saying Grin should get away with this. This isn't a minor offense, but
It's just
It's
it's
not-
expected.
it's
It's not out of character.
nobody
Right.
nobody would be like, I can't believe Grin murdered a woman in cold blood.
Right? Did you
I
see
can't
what that
believe
pirate just
pirate
did?
that.
Yeah.
Believe me, that'll be my spin as well.
I mean, generally can't.
Mordecai's gonna be like, wait, have you guys heard of who this guy is?
I mean,
Pirates, man. Am I
I'm just
right?
saying,
Am
like-
I right?
But Mordecai can tell Grin has had it. He's had it.
I mean, yeah. That's safe to say.
I think we've clearly stepped into that world.
Again, I thought you'd rough the poor girl up a bit. I never thought you were gonna fucking shoot her in the head, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when you put the gun to her head, I looked up and I saw Joey's face, and he was like actually paying very close attention. Then when you shot her, you went. Oh, shit.
Like
So,
shit just got real.
So part of it was
Oh my god.
part of it was playing in character. I thought that it was more like Grin thought it
Oh,
was
I know. That's why I did it. Poor girl only made 10 gold.
Never
Oh,
got to spend any of it.
Right.
We're about to fix that.
Well, yeah. Somebody will get to spend her 10 gold.
Yeah. Just won't be her. All right. Well, hey, folks, thanks for watching this evening, and thanks, Duck for moderating. And we will see you guys next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody say bye and wave.
For